My name is Flores, and I am the Everyday Educator. Today's video is geared for the educator who is trying to master the art of teaching and learning online. And so what I did was interview several teachers that I highly respect, and I also took a few pages from my own book, From Remote Learning, and I came up with my top tips to help any online teacher be successful during these times. My first tip is to think about investing in a dual monitor system. And so what I mean by that is having your laptop and an additional computer monitor so that way you're able to see two screens at the same time. And some people use their laptop and their desktop, they use a laptop and their TV, and it just depends on what your setup is like. And it's beneficial because you're able to keep your Zoom camera on, or maybe you're using Microsoft Teams or Skype, Google Meet, whatever option you're using, have your kids there and the chat box. But then maybe on the other window you have your emails open, or maybe they are being monitored on this screen by using a website called Dino, for example. You can see each one of your children's individual computer screens, and you can kind of see what they're doing. And another option is for you to have that double screen open so that you're able to see more work. And so sometimes what I would use my dual screen for was grading purposes. And so I would have the student work here in one screen. I would go over that. And then the following screen, that's when I would have my rubric and my grading system pulled up. So that way I could have the student work, look at the rubric, and go ahead and type in the grade. And it would help things go by a lot faster for report cards and for progress reports. So that was helpful for me. Not everybody can go out and buy a dual monitor system. So another thing you can do is use an app. And so Dualist is another type of app you can use, and you can choose which way do you want to split your screen. And so with that, you can still split your screen off without having two different monitors. So that's an option. And then there are a lot of other options as well that are just Google extensions that will help you split your screen. So in any way you try to do it, I definitely suggest finding a way to split your screen so that you can see more options at once. My next tip for success during online learning is to be very, very patient and to understand that your children and their parents, they come to you at very, very different levels as far as technology goes. Some of your kids grew up with technology and they know how to, for example, make letters capital. They know the difference between a front slash and a backslash. They know how to navigate the internet easily. But then on the other hand, you have children and families who are the complete opposite. So for you saying, well, we're going to get on this app today, so everybody get ready, pull out your app, and let's get to work. No, it's not really going to happen that way. You need to think about having a set amount of apps that you want to teach, and then literally spend one day, one teaching day, or hour or two, however your schedule is split up, spend one big chunk of time focusing only on this is how you access the app. If you need to log into it, this is how. And now, boys and girls, this is how we use the app, okay? Let's explore on this app. And now, after you've taken time to show them how you get in, how you log in, how you use it, then and only then will you be ready to use this app and have them to submit work using it. So for example, if you really want your students to use Draw and Tell, for example, for our learners in kindergarten through second, if you want them to use the app Draw and Tell, you have to teach them how to use it instead of telling them, get on this app and there's work due to me by the end of the week, get started. They're not many adults. They're not just going to go and put the expense report, print it out, and put it on your table. Teach them how to use the apps that you want them to use. That way, whenever it is time to use these apps or these websites, it's meaningful instruction and it's less stress for the students and for the parents and for you. And it just makes everything a lot more smooth. This next tip is one that I wish someone would have told us, but lucky for you, I'm telling you now so you don't have to make the same mistake. Give your kids their login information well ahead of time. Like back in the summer, I wish we would have given all of our kids their usernames and passwords and a list of websites that they were going to have to use so that way come August, it's not the very first time they're ever logging in. Because when we're ready to hit the ground running and teaching and instructing, we can't because kids don't know how to log in, they don't know how to access the websites, parents are confused and they get stressed. Kids are confused, they get stressed, and all that comes back to the teachers and the schools. And so, in order to avoid all that and help things to run smoothly from the beginning, give your kids their logins ahead of time and allow them time to practice. They need to know how it is they can make capital letters. They need to know the difference between a backslash and the front slash. They need to be able to easily, fluently be able to log in to whatever apps they're going to be using frequently in your class. Next up on the list is making your teacher time flexible. And so what I mean by that is allowing your students to contact you when they need you regarding schoolwork and school situations. So I'm not saying to have your phone on and you be on call for the entire night, even on weekends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying to get to know your students and their unique situations, and so that way, if you see that Julissa has some issues with math and you know her mom gets off around 8 p.m. each night, just kind of keep an ear out for Julissa if she texts you and says, hey, Miss Flores, I'm having some trouble still with the homework and my mom's trying to help me, but it's still not making sense. Can you please help us? Yeah, have some compassion. Know that everyone's trying their best here. And of course you just pop your popcorn and you really want to snuggle in and watch the movie, but and you have the right to do that. But at the same time, what's a quick text gonna hurt? What's a quick text? Letting them know you're there and available to help them during these crazy times. And with that being said, personally, I don't give out my cell phone number to families because I had an experience one year where they totally abused it. Just weekends, nights, phone calls, like repeated phone calls, voicemails. It was way too much. And they had my personal phone number, and I didn't know any better. I was a first-year teacher, and I thought, this is great. This is what all the best teachers do. Nope. Didn't work out. So now I use Google Voice. And Google Voice, yes, it's on my phone, and the messages, like text messages, they come straight through to my phone. I can text there. Phone calls, voicemails, they do still come through to my phone, but it's not my personal cell phone number. And as they're leaving the voicemail, I can have the choice of saying, do I want to accept this call now or do I want to push it straight to voicemail? And you can hear as they're leaving the voicemail and decide, is that something that is a priority or can that actually wait till tomorrow? And so I really like that. And whenever you call out, it's not your phone number. Whenever they call in, still not your phone number. And so they don't have any access to you personally, but it's still kind of personal because it's your cell phone. I don't know. I prefer to use Google Voice. I still use it today whenever I'm contacting parents in any form outside of the system that my school is using, obviously. Next up is your learning management system. Whether it's Canvas, Google Classroom, maybe you're going to use Schoology, whichever one you're using, make it user-friendly. A lot of times teachers title things and it's not easy for kids to remember where it is or what they're even looking for. And if they forgot something or missed a day of school, forget about it. You'll never be able to find it with some of these titles teachers give their assignments. So if I miss School Tuesday and I'm looking for the assignment, I'm not going to know what it's called if it's Module 3.6, Chapter 5 end of unit test. I'm not going to be able to search for that. But what I can find is math 8-1, because I know that that was math from August 1st. I can find that easily. If I need to find my spelling test, guess what? Spelling test 8-1, because I took the spelling test, or I missed the spelling test from the 1st of August, and it's dated, and it's labeled for me, and it's easy to find. And so what I suggest is, instead of having everything lumped all together, maybe break it down a little bit. Something that I did was break my topics into weeks, so that way the kids had it laid out for them. Everything you need for this week is right here. Because I noticed that whenever kids miss something, if I used to have it split into math, reading, social studies, and science. And so it would be all the math for Monday, then open up a new room, all the reading for Monday, all the social studies, and so on. And I realized that kids can't find it, and they get lost and they get frustrated because they can't find where their work is, because they're clicking in 4 or 5 different places just to get the assignments. So instead, I make it week by week. So now it is week of August 24th, and then it has the Monday. This is all the things we did Monday. Tuesday, this is all the things we did Tuesday. Wednesday, and so on, so that my kids know I'm in school on Tuesday, so I'm going to look at Tuesday's work, and these are the things that I'm going to complete. So whenever you are designing your learning management system, your page, whatever it is, make it user-friendly. Make it easy for parents to navigate, because they're the ones who are going to be helping out their kids whenever they're at home and it's after hours and you're not there with them, walking them through it. So make it simple. Please remember that with remote learning, distance learning, online learning, whatever you call it, learning through a computer, it's not the same as being in person. And sometimes it gets lonely, and the kids miss their teacher, they miss their friends, they miss that school environment. And so please don't think that you have to make it all school all the time, because there are some teachers who have said that I need to give them more and more knowledge, more information to make up for what they're not getting from being in the school building. And so then these kids get pumped full of information, and school's not even fun anymore, it's not enjoyable. And they don't even want to log on to their computer because they're going to get entire textbooks shoved down their throat. And that's not necessary, no matter what their age is. So try to build in some time that's just made for kids to be kids. Just have some conversations. Let them talk. I know Google Meet and Zoom, both of them have breakout room options. And so let them in a breakout room and just have a conversation. Another idea is to have dinner with your students, meaning that everybody kind of goes and they get their own dinner plate, their own lunch plate, and you guys all sit together on Zoom and you kind of have a lunch date and you talk about your day, talk about your week, and just enjoy each other's company. And so on that same note, try to do some fun stuff with them too. It doesn't have to all be school all the time. Let them have some fun, some downtime, some time to chit-chat, and just enjoy each other's company. Because it's scary, and it's lonely, and this is a great way to help them have that at-home feeling. Make sure that you have some type of workspace. I mean, it's enticing to come to work from home, meaning go to your couch in your pajamas with your hair pulled up, bag of chips beside you, just so comfortable in your own space. But no, you're going to get very unproductive very fast. Instead, make a workspace that is functional for you. And what I mean by that is have a table, have an office, some section of your home that's dedicated to just you working. For me, I had a table and I had all the pens, pencils, I had a whiteboard, dry erase markers, I had paper, math manipulatives, anything I thought I might need for teaching that day, I had it within an arm's reach so that when I'm on camera, I don't have to say, hang on kids, I gotta go really quick, and then leave, find what I had to find, and come back, because that's the equivalent of leaving 22 kids in a classroom alone while you run down the hall to go find whatever it is that you forgot to bring for the lesson. So have everything you need right there. Get up each morning, and I'm not telling you, put a full face of makeup on and wear heels to go sit in the kitchen, but yeah, get ready, put on some clothes, fix your hair, throw on some mascara or some hair gel, something, so that way you get the sense of, I'm up, I'm ready, I'm in work mode, because that's going to help you get into that work mode and to do a better job, and also to help your kids see that this is real school. Because a lot of them don't take it seriously. They're like, oh, I'm just palling around with my teacher. Look, she's got her hair thrown up in a hoodie. She's cool. Look at her. No, they need to take it seriously, because this is their education, and this is you that's providing that education to them. The last tip that I want to give, this one is not necessarily something you have to do. Think of it more as like a bonus. So, your kids sometimes get lonely. They miss their friends. They miss their teacher. They miss being at school. And so something that I did that I know a lot of other educators have done also is make home visits. You don't have to, do anything fancy. You don't have to bake food or goodies. You don't have to make a gift bag if you don't want to. I chose to make a gift bag, and I made I purchased some fun little games that my kids can play while they're quarantined. Things like sidewalk chalk, bubbles, things like slime, just depending on the age of your students. But I made them up a little goodie bag, and I went and individually visited every one of my families. And I stood out on the lawn, and the kids came out to the front porch. We had well over 6 feet distance, and we just talked. And it was so good to be able to have a conversation with every single one of them and to meet their families. Yes, we had on a mask, and we had a very big distance between us. There were no hugs, there were no high fives or handshakes, but it was great to be able to see them. And it did me a lot of good, and I know it did them as well. And so I just took one Saturday, started at around 8 a.m., and I put in a full day driving around town, stopping at kids' homes, and visiting them. And so, like I said, that's kind of a bonus. You don't have to do that. If you want to, by all means, do it. Go visit. But stay safe and make sure that it is in accordance with the guidelines at your school or your place of business. I really hope these tips help you as you're planning out how is it that you are going to continue on with remote learning. And so if there's any tips that I may not have mentioned that you think really help you, please drop them below in the comments, because I'm sure others would love to hear those tips as well. Again, if you like this video, if it helped you, please click like. Definitely subscribe, share this video with anyone who you think it would benefit from viewing it. As always, I am the Everyday Educator, and it was so nice to, oh, never mind, I don't want to say that anymore.